A man accused in a 2021 murder on Thunder Bay's north side is back in court. Good evening and thank you for joining us. The trial resumed today at the city courthouse. 28-year-old Khalid Ali Mohammed from Toronto was arrested 3 years ago and charged with second-degree murder in connection with the stabbing death of a man on Park Avenue. 36-year-old Stephen Burns was originally from Saskatchewan and had been living in Thunder Bay at the time. Burns died in hospital soon after he was found lying on the street in the downtown North Core, suffering from serious injuries. Mohammed was identified by police and arrested that same evening on Cumberland Street. Today in court, a city police detective testified that staff at a nearby business alerted them to a bread knife and a piece of pipe found 2 blocks from the murder scene. The trial is by judge alone. Mohammed is expected to testify in his own defense tomorrow. Premier Doug Ford will be in our region tomorrow. Ford has scheduled a news conference in Greenstone in the afternoon and will be joined by Ministers Greg Rickford and Prabmeet Sarkaria. Few details are available about the announcement, but the media release says Ford intends to, quote, mark progress on commitments made to the Greenstone region. We'll have more on that on Wednesday's NewsHour. Thunder Bay's former urban forester is going public about why he decided to resign back in August. Dan Corbett was hired 3 years ago to oversee the city's urban forestry strategy, but he says senior administrators ignored his plans, leading to what he calls a haphazard system of tree removal. Corbett says he recommended issuing a large-scale tender to find one company that could take down 700 trees per year, remove the stumps, and then plant new trees.
In reality, that wasn't implemented, and as a result, there was sparse ash removals across the city, and a lot of the stumps weren't ground and those sorts of things, which citizens were concerned about as well, and I didn't feel as though administration made it possible to do that. And I couldn't move forward with the position because there were too many things that were being overlooked or brushed off that I thought were important to the citizens, and I couldn't be a part of it anymore.
Corbett says he decided to speak publicly because he's concerned city residents aren't getting acceptable service regarding hazardous or dying trees. He points to last month's incident in Waverly Park, in which the top of an old cottonwood tree snapped off and landed on a vehicle. Corbett says he created a strategy a few months earlier to maintain the old trees at Waverly and remove some of them. That plan not being acted upon was the final straw, and he decided to quit.
Unfortunately, we're still looking at a stump, a 40-foot tall stump in Waverly Park, which is a symbol of the city deciding that the level of service that they're going to provide is going to be low and that the citizens are going to accept it.
Corbett says City Council is aware of his concerns, but he encourages residents to contact council members as well. The city issued a statement today insisting that its forestry team is actively addressing the emerald ash borer infestation by removing thousands of ash trees as part of an approved management plan. Trees are also removed due to age or damage, and hundreds of replacement trees are planted each year. Well, some good news for residents at Hogarth Riverview Manor. Last week, we reported on a hot water shortage at the city's largest long-term care center. Officials with St. Joseph's Care Group say the problem has now been resolved. HRM resident Anita Berglund contacted TBT News and told us the taps in most of the upper units had been running cold nearly all the time for over a month. St. Joe's officials had difficulty pinpointing the source of the problem with so many valves throughout the facility. But on Friday evening, an interim fix was put in place to restore the hot water. A permanent solution was then installed yesterday, and hot water is now readily available on all floors. St. Joe's officials say they're grateful to the residents at HRM who have been patient and understanding throughout the process. The provincial government has given more than $366,000 to 2 local businesses to help them expand operations and create jobs in the region. The funding came from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund. Local MPP Kevin Holland made the announcement at KBM Forestry Consultants' new hangar earlier today. Jessica Clement was there.
KBM Forestry Consultants was awarded over $340,000, while Embark Port Services received $25,000 from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund to help them enhance their operations. Thunder Bay Atikokan MPP Kevin Holland made the announcement Tuesday morning, noting the funding will help the companies expand their services and invest in new equipment.
It's two industries that are really growing. Cruise ship, we've seen an increase in the number of cruises that are coming to Thunder Bay year over year, and of course KBM provides valuable resource or services to our natural resources industry, which of course is the cornerstone of the economy here in northwestern Ontario. That's what NOHFC is all about, is invest in those businesses that are providing those important services and jobs and to northwestern Ontario.
KBM is using the $340,000 to expand its hangar facility located at the Thunder Bay International Airport. Flight Operations Principal Ian Gillis says the new space helps them to accommodate additional aircrafts and storage of sensitive survey equipment.
A lot of planning went into thinking about where we're going in the future and how we also want to support the aviation industry in Thunder Bay, and making sure that we had a facility that would accommodate that and be suitable for that type of future growth.
Embark Port Services, which offers support services for cruises, utilized its portion of the funding to purchase new equipment and a mobile container office, which will be located at the Pool 6 dock. Co-owner Sean Davies says the money was also used to increase staff, including bilingual services.
This year, specifically, we saw foreign cruise ships. So, for the most part, last year was a lot of American tourists. This year, we saw tourists from France, from Germany, and all over Europe. We added, I think, 5 or 6 people that were multilingual. And as a result, when we go to the fort or Kakabeka, we're giving those tours now in French or German or whatever language is required. So certainly puts us on the map as a stronger port for shore excursion.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
A light snowfall in the Greenstone area caused havoc along Highway 11 yesterday. At least 4 transports lost control and jackknifed or wound up in the ditch. One of the crashes involved 2 transports right in the town of Beardmore yesterday morning. The highway was reduced to 1 lane and there were no injuries, according to witnesses. Another mishap occurred about 80 kilometers east of Longlac. The transport was left blocking the entire highway. Eventually, the transport was straightened out and the highway was reopened. Another transport wound up on its side in the ditch between Longlac and Geraldton. The highway was shut down to 1 lane today while crews removed the vehicle, and another vehicle also had to be pulled from the ditch yesterday, this one just west of Geraldton. The local Home Depot is once again partnering with Shelter House to raise money to support at-risk and homeless youth. The campaign, titled the Orange Door Project, will see 100% of proceeds go to the emergency shelter. From now until December 22nd, customers will be given the option to donate to the Orange Door Project at the checkout. The donations collected at the end of the 7-week campaign will help Shelter House invest in resources to help struggling youth in the city. Executive Director Brendan Carlin says they hope to beat last year's total of $9,000.
Our plan is to purchase a couple of computers and donate maybe some staff time towards helping with things like job searches, housing searches, schooling, stuff like that, so the youth can, who are in trouble, might be able to get back on their feet.
So people can donate like in store. All the tills, even if it's assisted checkout or at the cashier checkout, we have the coupons, whether they want to donate 2, 5, 10 or more, they can just scan it, or we ask every customer at the transaction that, hey, would you like to donate to Thunder Bay Shelter House?
And donations aren't just collected in store, you can also give online on the Home Depot or Shelter House websites. First Nations students at Nipigon Red Rock District High School are hard at work building a brand new tiny home. The teens from grades 9 to 12 will have a part in every stage of the build. Justin Hardy brings us the story.
Nip Rock High School's new Indigenous Skilled Trades training program launched this October with a project to construct a new home for someone in Ganugabing First Nation. The project provides First Nation students with hands-on training and certifications in carpentry and electrical work, all while earning high school credits. The project comes from a partnership between the school, Matawa First Nations Management, Red Rock Indian Band, Binja Twabeg Zoging and Ishnabek, Ganugabing First Nation, Smart Modular Canada, and other partners. Vice Principal Lisa McLeod says this project has many benefits for students.
It won't just be about building the house, it's also about connections to land and culture, but then also certifications and training. So being part of this program, they'll get opportunities to get their working at heights training, they'll get hopefully their skid steer training, their chainsaw, so it'll give them all different exposure to all different trades, working with electricians and plumbers. So, it's going to give them lots of exposure for a potential career, or even just bringing those skills back to their communities.
They get to try out a lot of different skills and things that they're going to learn. They get to try this. I don't expect all these kids to be a full-fledged carpenter when they're done, but they're going to learn the hands-on skills that they need, and that will help choose their pathway for their careers.
The finished product will be 14 feet wide by 40 feet long with a patio. Students will have part in every stage of the build. Many of the students participating say they're definitely considering a career in trades after the project.
So are either of you considering, a potential future in the trades?
I would say so, yeah. I like the hands-on work and everything.
Yeah, I'd say it's more easier doing this.
I actually want to go into the trades after high school.
Awesome. It's making me think about the trades because I never really thought about what I'd do after high school. But it's making me consider some options.
Yeah, I have tech and welding, so I think I might want to do a trade later on.
It's been changing my mind a little bit. I think I've got my career set in stone though.
The project is hoped to be completed by the end of the school year, and the finished home will then be shipped to a family in Ganoogaming. Justin Hardy, TBT News.